Hey everyone, it's tracefaceit. I'm back again with another video. I hope you guys are doing really well. I'm always praying for all of you and hoping that you're taking good care of yourself in this community and, getting the support and the help that you need. Today, I'm going to attempt to explain to all of you this vicious dance that happens when you've got a good-looking narcissist. Okay. And moreover, when you got the good looking narcissist and you got a good looking empath, what happens with this very vicious dance that is about to occur? That a lot of people aren't really talking about or recognizing how this happens. And I see it happen so often with the people I'm working with, and this dynamic that is going on, the chemistry is real, you guys. It's chemistry makes bombs. But before I dive into this video, I do want to make an announcement that the prayer and fast group for February starts on the 15th. So if you are looking to get deliverance from anything going on in your life that you need to be healed from, delivered from, narcissists that are in your life that you need to get away from, you need to break that soul tie, that trauma bond, and get this off of you spiritually, please reach out to me at tracefaceit@gmail.com. And yes, I want to get you signed up to get the help you need and you deserve. All right, so let's get back into this. I wrote a lot of notes here, so I'm probably just going to read off what I was writing about this topic because it's you guys are going to recognize how this works. Okay. Now, an empath, deep down inside of an empathic person, a person that has the ability to experience empathy, compassion for others, feels for other people, wants the best for other people, has love inside of them to give. They just want to pour their love into people. Okay. That's what they want to do. And a lot of empaths have very weak boundaries because they're just looking to love. And if they grew up in environments where there was things going on and happening, and they recognize that, I don't ever want to make somebody feel the way I used to feel, you're going to find that they're even more weak with boundaries. A lot of times they haven't learned boundaries because they're just looking to pour their love into other people. And a lot of times empaths feel like, oh, if I just love them more and more, maybe they'll stop, or maybe they'll finally trust me or understand that I'm sincere with this. I really, really do love this person. And then here comes the taking advantage of and everything else that happens with a person that wants to give that much love to somebody. So then if you tack on the fact that, if you take the fact that the narcissist and the empath are both attractive, well, forget it. This dance is flat out dangerous. Okay. This dance is the most dangerous there is. Because this is where the chemistry comes in. Okay. There really is such a thing as pheromones. There's a reason why for whatever reason, you're attracted to this person. I've had people in my life, I can recall that my friends and family would be like, that guy, like, what do you see in that dude? And I couldn't describe it to you. There's something about when he would get in front of my face and I'd be around, and there's just something about him, it was pheromones, it was chemistry. But don't forget, guys, chemistry makes bombs. Chemistry makes bombs. So, then you got two attractive people, okay? And what happens with two attractive people that are dating one another, and this can even happen for people that aren't narcissists or empaths or whatever label you want to put on it. Attractive people tend to have a lot of insecurities. Okay. Why? Because there's a lot of times for many attractive people, they got a lot of pressure on them to always remain attractive, to stay relevant, to be, and this is where a lot of times with attractive people, you got a lot of temptations that are coming in, and I'm gathering all this information, guys, from the very many people I work with, and I get this research and I see how this stuff truly does work. So you got these temptations, and you got the insecurities sort of happening, or, maybe they are secure, but now they're making each other insecure because they're worried that someone's always going to be looking at them or after them. And I used to see this, you guys, in the music industry, tenfold. This is what was constantly happening and going on. You were the musician, and you were dating a non-musician, and they were always worried somebody was hitting on you when you get done your show. No, they're not hitting on me. They're just a fan of the music. No, they're not. They're drooling over you. They're flirting with you. And then, this kind of thing goes on, and it goes on with these, you got two attractive people. This kind of thing is going on a lot. The insecurities that come around that, the temptations that come around with that. And then if you're dating the person that happens to be really good looking, and they got a lot going on for them, there's all that comes with this that I'm describing. Okay. So then you tack on this fact that narcissists and empaths both, okay, something I had to recognize within me as being an empath, okay, both have weak boundaries, okay, both have very weak boundaries. So this dynamic is actually a complete recipe for disaster. Once again, when you've got two people that have very weak boundaries, okay, and once again, I'm talking, the examples I'm giving are really, I'm seeing a lot of patterns here with people I'm working with. Some of the people I work with are very good looking people, very attractive people. And they always like to, at times show me pictures of who they're with and what they're dealing with. And I see how this works. Okay. You got to keep in mind that narcissists are very charismatic people. They're very I always say you can go out for a night on the town with a narcissist and you have the time of your life. All right. You're going to have a blast. You're going to do a lot of laughing, a lot of hee ha-has. You're going to have some good memories they'll show you a great time. But of course we know what it's going to be followed by. So are empaths. Empaths are very charismatic people as well. A lot of empaths are very outgoing, friendly, engaging, good listeners. And so the dynamic happens here where when things are really good between these two, they're really good. Okay. And, when the narcissist starts pulling stunts, the narcissist is actually growing and feeding off of the empath's energy as she withers and becomes worse and worse within herself. And I'm going to use the dynamic today of male narcissist, female empath, just because there's, I'm just going to use that, as I know if you are a male watching this, just use the opposite the opposite example here of how this works, but just hear me out on this. So she's going to wallow in her own misery. Okay. And she's going to take it out on herself because that's what she does. Okay. In the end, sometimes the empath starts to end up with these borderline traits, so to speak. A lot of times, people I'm working with start to tell me, I feel like I'm starting to act just like the narcissist. I'm getting unruly. I'm getting bipolar. I'm starting to feel numb myself. I'm starting to feel numb about everything, including people. I'm just feeling numb with people. They start doing things to try to get a reaction out of the narcissist, or they're experiencing more reactive abuse, and so you'll find a lot of times towards the end, before the empath actually saves themselves, I'll hear a lot of times about them actually going off and cheating themselves or doing things that are completely out of their character drinking by themselves, things of this nature that they never experienced before. They're doing these self-soothing behaviors. Okay, they're trying to self-soothe and they don't know where to go. Most times, 9 times out of 10, people in their life don't understand what is happening here, and they're giving them the wrong advice and or telling them that, stop talking about this. You need to move on. This person is crazy. Why do you even talk about this person? And this is not all that helping the empath. So they start to self-loathe, go within, and start to exhibit all these behaviors that they never had before. And so it's a shame too for anybody outside looking into this relationship. Family and friends of the empath are going to be watching this like in complete distress themselves and just not understanding and wondering what is happening to their family member or friend, or why have they changed so much. So you're going to see that. And as this is going on, you guys, the narcissist gets great joy out of being the power master, over the empath. And to know that he has that much power, watching her lose herself. He's got that power over her to watch her lose herself. She starts to lose her looks. She starts to lose her joy. And without even blinking, she's left in this very state now. For years, this can go on, years and years. And she is just literally in survival mode, trying to pick up the pieces to her life, rebuilding, trying to get rid of all the unwanted self-sabotaging behaviors that she's picked up along the way. And again, guys, I'm using the she. Please I don't need the comments that I'm not. I know how this, I have an equal amount of male clients as I do female. I'm just using this as the example for today's video. So she's trying to pick up the pieces, rebuild, get rid of these unwanted habits that she's picked up. Now, all of a sudden she starts, she's moving on, she's healing. She starts to radiate again. Her confidence is coming back. She's starting to glow. Right? We all know the story. Then, boom, another good-looking narcissist charmer comes around. Or, I'm laughing, but it's ever so worse. It's the covert. It's the covert that's using the intellect for his charm, or using the emotional avenue, or using spiritual avenues. Okay? Finding out every single thing he can on her, only to find all of her weaknesses to use against her eventually. She hasn't lost her big heart. She's still very open and honest person. Can't help that. She's that open, honest nonfiction of a book to him. And she's a complete doormat and a complete idiot in his eyes. So the covert plays into everything he finds out about her. He morphs into everything he knows she wants as a partner. It comes so easy to him as she continues to gradually open up more and more and more. And it feels very amazing to love again, to be loved again, she thinks. He continues to feed her herself. He's feeding her herself. Okay. And I see this, you guys, time and time and time again. You're not even out of what just happened to you. You start to build yourself up, and here comes another one. And, as she believes she's found herself finally a best friend, a soulmate, whatever you want to call it. But little does she know, he hates her soul. He hates her soul. He wants to take her soul from her. Look at that stupid idiot. And he waits to see if she's playing him too. Because you see, guys, a narcissist always lives in fear. Truly. They are fear-based 24/7. They look at people wondering if they are doing the same thing to them that they're doing to them. They don't want to get played. And they tend to see people in the same view, in the same lens. They treat people that way. Get them before they get me. They always think that everybody else could be a fraud too. So they're always protecting themselves at all costs and making certain they have that upper hand. All right. Get them before they could ever get you is what they're thinking. Manipulate them because after all, they're manipulating me. Look at her being all emotional. Blah. She's not sincere. This is all rubbish. She thinks she's a diamond, but she is coal, and I'm going to show her. I'm going to tell you some other ways that they think. Here's my little excerpt on what they're thinking. Oh, but she is still buying me. Look at her. She still looks at me like I'm the greatest, most special gift she's ever been given. And this fuels my inner fire to keep up this dance. Look at us, the power couple. Everyone pays attention when we walk in a room. Yeah, put on that red dress and makeup to cover up those bags under your eyes. And put on the show for them tonight, sweetheart. Let them all envy us. Let me dangle you like a carrot so I can get the other thirsty narc whores to chase after me. I'll play the check you out game while you're checking me out game all night long in this room with these whores. I can't wait for that rush and that thrill of it all. Oh, what's that? The Facebook ding? Good thing I have the messages on private so that the actual text from these whores doesn't show up on the screen. Well, let me just go check. I'm going to go slip out to the John so I can check this dick pic. I can pull you out. They're probably checking those too, but we're getting to that in a minute. Let me go slip out to the John so I can send this dick pic real quick to Bianca, the 20-year-old hoe from the gym. Oh God, look at that handsome devil, Ryan, who works for the biggest finance team in the state. I know he wants me. He wants to have a night with me, and I'm loving that too. I think I'll let him have his way with me. Why not? I'll be the single most greatest lay of his life, and nobody will even have to know. He'll be obsessed with me forever, and I'm going to take this with me to the grave. I think every person should take secrets with them to the grave. Oh, there she is. Look at her. Every guy in the room wants her. Her pathetic smile lighting up the room, and her laugh drawing everybody in. Little do they know, I don't even bother with her. She's so weak. She'll never leave me. But what if she did? What if she realized I'm one of the greatest con artists to ever live, and she goes and finds a real person to give her the life she deserves? Well, that would be my payback, wouldn't it? Look at her. She's literally every single thing I or any man could ever want, desire, and wish for in a woman, and yet she disgusts me. I disgust me. I think I'll remain distant in the car ride home and sleep on the couch. I'm feeling all out of sorts and out of my body at this point. Just feeling so down. Oh, look, it's Bianca. She's texting me again. Oh, she'll make me feel better about all of this. I'll definitely have to sleep on the couch tonight so I can toy with that dumb blonde whore while this one sleeps. I think I'll mess with Ryan too. I'll make him think I'm interested. Look at her, taking off her red dress. So sad. She pities herself. She's sad. She's depressed. She's lonely. She'll never leave me because I'm so handsome. She cries over me. Thank God. Thank God she cries over me. I hate her stupid tears, but the sound of it puts me to sleep in a deep, relaxing sleep. Well, I hope you liked my little story of how a narc thinks. He lived with one, lived with a few. And I got to know them. I got to study them. I got to understand, a lot of times they would just come out with how they were feeling. And this would give me an idea, or I just study the behavior. You're never going to learn more about a narcissist than when you live with one. And I'll tell you what, this dance is very dangerous. It does get very ugly. It leads to really tumultuous, volatile, this is a lot of violence can end up like this because the emotions are so on high. A lot of people, you can't help who you're attracted to. So this is why this dance is so very dangerous. When you have an empath that happens to be very physically attractive, but yet, male or female, they have a heart inside of them that humbles them, that they're not going around being superficial about it or going just with the fact that God blessed them with good looks. So you tap on that with a narcissist who's good looking. You can't help who you're attracted to, but this is, as you can see, a recipe for absolute disaster. And that little excerpt I gave you that I wrote really shows you how this continues to go on and on and on. And what you don't see is how the narcissist continues to play the sweet and mean cycle over and over and over again. Yeah, and you're buying this, and this is why now I can sit there and preach to the choir about not sleeping with people before you're married. And I know that sounds really far-fetched and really out there for many of you that are listening to this right now. But sex will yoke you to the wrong person. If you let your desires get ahead of you, you let lust get in front of you, you're going to find out real quick what happens in this dynamic. And this is a really, really hard dynamic to get out of once you're in it. It's a dance that can go on for many, many, many years, decades of your life, if you don't understand. As I've said to you guys before, the devil knows your preferences. The devil sends you exactly what he thinks is going to get you to crumble. The devil knows your weaknesses, and demons are always watching you. As I put up that little short from the Dad's Doomsday podcast about an actual real life exorcist that has lived this, has understood and studied and been around demons, right? I believe 30 years, something like that. He backed up what I've been saying on the channel now for almost 4 years. So you got to be really careful about this dynamic, okay? If the narcissist doesn't particularly have the best looks, the narcissist is going to use their charm, their intellect, their talents, they get to study you, so they see what you're all about, and then they're going to feed that back to you. And that's how it works. It takes a very long time, you guys, to get to know somebody and really get to know somebody for who they are, and not what they're putting on a front for in the very beginning, because they all do this. This is how they do it. They put on a front. Now, does everybody have mistakes and make mistakes and is not perfect? Yes. But the main things you have to be looking out for are narcissists do not have the ability to have good moral they don't have care. They lack character and integrity. And they don't have empathy. They don't experience empathy the way a human being would. I'm using the terms today, you guys. I'm using the terms narcissist and empath. It really should be, at this point, robot and human, because that's where we've come to. This is a battle. This is a war. Open up your eyes. There's literally two kinds of meat suits. You know, we got the meat suits here, and we got real humans. This is where we're at. We're finally here. We've reached the point. These people have been taken over, and these people have not. And even the self-proclaimed narcissists out there right now will tell you that they're still a narcissist. At the end of the day, they don't change. They still think the same. They still have trouble with emotional intelligence. They still, at the end of the day, they can't. It's more like they don't want to. It's too much. It's too hard of work, and it's too much. They don't want to. It's much easier to just go back and do what it is they've always done. And I'm going to end today's video with telling you guys something that I always try to remind you guys of, okay? Because I want you to stop having sympathy for narcissists. Sympathy for the devil is what you're having, is what you're experiencing. That's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. I had to literally look at it like this. If I kept this up, if I did one more round of this, if I allowed one more time for this to happen, I basically, when I was getting out of that marriage, I said to myself, I am hurting myself. This is self-sabotaging. I am basically going to hell. And I was drinking alone. I was no better than him and the one before him. When I started learning these self-soothing, self-sabotaging behaviors of drinking by myself, there's no reason to be doing that. I had no excuse. I had no reason that I needed to be doing that. I was just as much in the wrong. And if I didn't see it that way, I don't think I was ever getting out. Because it's one thing, if we can sit there, we can put all the blame on them. You know, I was part of the dance, guys. I was part of the dance that went on. And only until I got educated, got myself the wisdom, the knowledge, and information that I was able to say, okay, you know, enough is enough. I don't need to be doing this stuff. And now, anytime I feel that sort of thing, even slightly coming on me, and I recognize what I'm looking at, no, not today, Satan, and not any day. Narcissists choose this. Don't forget that. They chose this. It's a choice. And it's exactly why I can name you people off the top of my head that I personally know that had horrible childhoods, horrible. And I'm talking getting thrown down the stairs by their stepfathers, beaten to a pulp. And when they got to early adulthood, they made a choice. They said to themselves, I can either make sure I never treat anybody the way I was treated, and I will never make anybody feel that way. Never, because I know what that feels like. Or I went through this and I know exactly what to do to make sure I got the upper hand on this person. And that's the most important part, is my selfishness in all of this. Me, my, and they go down that path. And that's what we see. I believe this. I believe every person, when they're in early adulthood, gets to the crossroads and they make a decision as to what kind of a person they want to be. Now, we all have work to do on ourselves every single day. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm saved, I'm good, I'm wonderful, I'm this, I'm that, I'm going into the kingdom of heaven. It's nice to have kingdom confidence, but it's also even more important to be checking in with yourself every day of things that you need to work on and you need to get better at, because when you start getting like that, you're in trouble. Okay. I don't believe anybody here, even the day God decides to take me out of this world, Will I be satisfied with where I'm at, with the changes I've made? And I hope so. I pray so. But every day, there's something else I can be doing to get better and better and better. What would Jesus do? That saying needs to come back. It's something we need to think about all the time in everything we're doing. That's my message today. I hope that this helps you, helps to explain what a lot of you are going through and not understanding how vicious. We're not, a lot of people aren't talking about that. These narcissists are very good looking. Most of them are good looking people. Look at all the serial killers. Even get into that in this video. Take a look at all the serial killers. Why do you think Satan uses them? He needs good-looking people. He needs good-looking vessels to do his bidding, to do his work here. So I really hope that you take a deeper look into how this works. It's a very, very, very strategic operation of how it happens, when it happens, the timing it happens. Notice when you start to feel really good about yourself, things are going great, you keep that stuff to yourself. And I mean it, guys. If there's something I've learned in the last 4 years, is that I need to keep things to myself. Okay. I have been an open book on this channel and this platform. That's how I built my business, is sharing my heart with all of you. But moving forward now, I've understood and recognized that a lot of people in your life, okay, they're not taking information, personal information you gave them for good things. They're not doing that because they're not in a good place. So even sometimes you could get off the phone with somebody and you have no idea what they're literally thinking. They're putting out bad energy towards something you just share with them about major goals you want to reach. I had a client remind me today that she came across a video talking about when you have a Christ-like encounter, why that happens between you and God. And this video was reminding her that, I don't know who put this video out, but she said it reminded her that you're not supposed, if God wanted it to be known, he would have presented himself in a way that everybody would have seen. And I believe he does that just to show how much faith that you have. But it doesn't mean that you have to go around and tell everybody what happened to you, because most of them are going to use that anyways against you and just talk behind your back about how crazy you are. Nuts. Making up stories about angels that saved you when you were 17 years old. That's what happens. Just because you have good intentions for everybody in your life, because you've come so far, and again, you wouldn't want to make people feel the way they've made you feel, doesn't mean that they're doing the same thing for you. So you got to protect your heart, protect your energy, protect your goals, protect your Christ encounters that you have, all that stuff. And use that to become a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. That's all I have to say today. I am Trace Face. It's time we all face the truth together.